Hello and welcome to Nintendo Voice, your voice for everything Nintendo. This is episode 122, being recorded on the 10th of January, 2018. My name's Lewis Pugh, and joining me to talk all things Nintendo, we have Harrison Milfeld.
Hey, everybody.
And Colin Crompton.
Hello, everyone.
And on today's show, we have some what we've been playing, we have some Nintendo news, we have some super topics, as well as a little dash of something new in between. Let's
the thing in between is not Nintendo Direct speculation, as it's gotten a little crazy on Twitter today. I mean, I was telling Colin, I was telling Lewis about how everybody was like deciphering, like examining that whole Nintendo of America photo of the parrot from Super Mario Odyssey. Did you see that?
I did. Yep. It's crazy.
It's gotten to a point, but I think that's what happens when somebody posts a rumor about how it's supposed to be the 11th, and it's I don't know. It's me stepping away from the ledge where I'm like, we all have games that we still have to play from 2017 to finish, and I'm just like sitting there going like it's like me full of food with a mouth, and then somebody's like, hey, here's some more food. I'm like, no more, please. I need to finish.
Definitely.
All right. Before we jump further, then let's get some quick opinions.
Ooh.
When do we reckon a direct is going to drop?
Sometime in January. Or I'm going to assume the 11th.
Are you going to follow suit, Colin? At some point in January, we'll have a direct. Make any bold predictions?
I'm going to say middle of February.
Middle of February.
Yeah, I'm going to push it out a bit.
All right.
Yeah, great.
Why do I get the feeling that by the time this podcast is like out in audio form, we will probably find out. So
yes, most likely.
Very possibly. Yeah, I do think we're going to have a direct this month at least. So I'm going to go with next week. That's a pretty safe bet. We shall see, though. We shall see. Before we jump into what we've been playing, I do want to kick off a new feature, which doesn't have a name, but ultimately the goal is to introduce some games into our gaming podcast. And
games as in not actual games, but just parlor games, you're saying?
Yes, of sorts. Okay. So when we talk about games, we don't actively play games on the podcast, and I want to correct this. And so I'm going to be acting as moderator of sorts, at least in the short term. I'll host the podcast, moderator of the games. I'm not sure if you can do both, but for today, at least for today's show, part of a Christmas present, I was given a Mario and Nintendo trivia book, and I'm going to read out one question to each of you for now.
I have a question. I have one question
for me first. Okay.
What does this book look like? Show it on the screen.
I shall show it on the screen. It looks like this.
For those watching the video version,
there's a Super Nintendo controller on the front, and it's
nice.
Colourful.
Nice.
What year did that come out? It looks like something from the 90s.
Maybe it is. It's actually no. There are some more recent questions. It must be later than that. So the way this is going to work, we start with yourself, Harrison. You've got a choice between if you pick a number between 1 and 7, please.
5.
Number 5. Okay, your question. What was Mario's original profession in Donkey Kong? And there is multiple choice. They're all multiple choice. So you've got A, plumber, B, carpenter, C, electrician, or D, teacher.
I do not sense Mario was a teacher or person of education because I don't know. Just there's something to me that just never really did. No, but I believe he was a carpenter.
I don't even need to look that one up. You are correct. Okay.
What do I win?
Did that explain the hammer in the game? Is that what the hammer is?
I'm not sure if it explains that or not. However, Colin.
Oh lordy.
Let's make this fair. Okay. You now get a choice between 8 and 15. And what would you like?
Oh. Let's go 11.
11. Okay, what was the first Mario RPG called? A. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Sky, Super Mario RPG Legend of Seven Stars, Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Seas, or Legend of the Seven Worlds.
Can I phone a friend?
Not this time. No.
I was saying you better be ironic, like not serious. I'm like, you should be shouting the answer even before
It is Legend of the Seven Stars.
Also correct. Okay, 2 points starting in. There are easy questions, easy answers, but there are some tricky ones I've noted in there as well.
So is this going to be continued on each week as far as like our scores, or
no? This is just at least this one. It may return, but this is for this episode. I will ask you both a question in between features, and so we're going to jump now, and we'll review at the end. We'll see how we've both.
Oh, I see what this is. It's a break. It's a break in between there.
Exactly. That's all it is.
I feel like this idea is going to evolve into something a little bit more besides questions, and it's going to do to a point where it's going to be like a stream of like we all have like the same Nintendo Monopoly. Like, no, this would be a good idea. We all have the same Nintendo Monopoly set up, and we have our pieces set up across whatever, and it's just a stream of all of us and our 3 separate screens, and we're just like, all right, you move that piece and this piece.
3
it's
people
like Risk
in 3 separate locations playing.
This is an idea I can get behind.
No, Nintendo.
How many editions of Nintendo Monopoly do we all own?
No.
I don't own. I don't even own one.
I own a couple.
Well, okay.
I know there's a Zelda one.
However, let's jump into some what we've been playing. And Colin,
yeah,
why don't you kick things off?
You want me to open things up? Okay.
Yeah.
So, kind of a sideways thing. I've been playing this game on PS4, but it is also available for Nintendo Switch. I want to get that out there. I've been playing Batman, the Telltale game. I finished it the other day. Yeah, it's a great little adventure game. Very well written. I think that's the strong point of all the Telltale games. They are generally, like it's kind of like a choose your adventure style. Yeah, it's incredibly strong. But I don't really know where to go. But
I was going to say, just want to ask, what's your background with the Telltale series?
Oh, not too in depth. I enjoyed the first season of The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead one was really good.
I thought the first season was really good. I tried the second season, and I felt it was much weaker compared to the first. I enjoyed the Tales of Monkey Island. I thought that was very good. Besides that, I haven't played too many of them. So, yeah, but I thought I'd dive into the Batman one because I'm a little bit of a Batman fan. And well, it'd be kind of cool. It's like play the role of Batman.
But no, I really need to try that out though soon because it's one of those things that are actually on my side note to actually kind of try those out. I never did try the Guardians of the Galaxy one out, but I believe but the Batman ones I've been actually really well into. I've heard about.
Yeah, it's very good. I would say it's incredibly short. It's like I finished the entire season in. It's only 5 episodes. It's like about 6 hours. I mean, it is incredibly short for what it is.
Those generally are, aren't they? Like, yeah, because they.
Each episode's like an hour. Very strong, excellent voice acting. Besides one key component, and that's Batman himself. So Troy Baker, well-known voice actor, does a variety of voices across various games. He does Bruce Wayne and Batman, but he goes to the Christian Bale school of doing Batman voices. In that, in order to sound intimidating, he growls a lot, and I never liked that in Batman. I always prefer.
You mean to tell me you never liked that with Christian Bale?
Well, no, I don't get it. I understood because like you look at Michael Keaton when he was playing Batman, he was intimidating no matter what. And the whole like.
That does seem to be the common criticism of it. Even though I felt like he was a very good Batman on there, but I mean, it's just the. I think with the thing when you have with Keaton like that, he was able to kind of, like I said, still be intimidating, but be a very good Bruce Wayne.
I mean, you sort of like divert to like Bale had a great look. but I feel like the voice wasn't necessary. But yeah, again, this Batman looks amazing. I mean, the art style of all the Telltale games, it's kind of like it's cel shaded, like kind of like a digital comic book style, which I really like. I think it looks cool. It looks amazing. The great thing about this game, I will say great, but this game is brutal in like the choices you get to make. So you get to make Batman. You can go down the whole he doesn't kill road, which okay, he does kill. By the way, folks, he's killed in quite a few things.
He does kill. Okay, there we go.
You can make him do what you want. I mean, there's choices you can make because the whole game's based on choices, as is every Telltale game. The choices you make dictate the direction the episodes go, even though they do follow a linear path story-wise, so you can't really divert too far from the narrative, but you can influence it into, different channels and so forth. But I mean, yeah, if you want Batman to go around breaking people's legs and cutting throats, you can.
The choice is yours.
Yeah, no kidding. There's some interesting decisions though, in terms of the villains and how they portray the villains. There's some intriguing characters, which I won't give away here, but there's some very kind of out of character moments for the villains, I would say. I don't know, it's one of the things I wasn't too keen on, is like how they wrote specifically one villain. I will say who it is. It's Penguin. And how he's portrayed is very different. I'll say that much.
Different as in was he more in line like with his Tim Burton incarnation, or more that what we've seen with like comic book or even like the animated series? Vastly different to those. He's okay. I mean, just visually, he appears tall and thin. He's very violent, which I never thought Penguin was. Well, yeah, he's more of a he was more of a mob boss type of a mentality.
Exactly.
So
This one isn't. This one's goes around wielding guns and shooting people, which is very bizarre. But some of they do also some of the backstory as well, like Harvey Dent, who becomes Two-Face as it's popular lore. How he achieves his Two-Face version of himself is told a little bit differently, in a very brutal way as well. It's very graphic. Yeah, but overall, I would say it's a great little game. But that's the thing; it's very short. I kind of wish. I kind of wish it went on a bit longer.
Is this kind of on par for like Telltale series, or is it shorter than what you've played before?
Well, usually the Telltale games I played had a little more puzzle elements to them, which kind of stretched out the length because they were quite intricate.
Yeah.
This game doesn't really have that. It's very make a choice, next scene, make a choice, next scene. Do a little bit of detective work, which are really cool. You get to recreate these crime scenes, just like the Arkham games, which is that's pretty cool. But then it's like, okay, next scene, choice, end of episode. Okay. And then those choices factor into the next episode.
Does it do the thing? I think it does, because I'm pretty sure Telltale games do this at this point, is like at the end of an episode, will it show your choices compared to...
Yes, and how popular they were with people.
How did you fall on that scale?
Bizarrely in the middle. For a lot of choices. Some choices are everybody like, yes, that's what we did and all that stuff. But other choices which I felt like were really in character for Batman, hardly anyone picked. And I'm like, really? Fair enough. It's kind of cool about that. But yeah, most of the time I was with the popular crowd, but
yeah, often the way of these games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll find something where you could definitely in the minority. You can start questioning.
Well, that's really it's everything in these games. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just kind of the game just goes with it. That's the choice you made. We're going to go along with it. Another weakness of this game is the ending's very weak. I will say that much. It has this really strong narrative going all the way through it. But then the final episode, it just kind of doesn't it doesn't quite capitalize on the urgency it's built up on. It's like, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And in the end, it's just like, there you go. Batman.
It's like, here's the ending.
Yeah, it's like, and it literally is. Like, you do a Q2E sequence and then end.
Yeah, so yeah. Does it tease there's more to come, or is it just a bit of a flat ending?
No, it does end it on a very bizarre cliffhanger.
Okay.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's like, huh. So, I mean, I know there is a second season in development. I believe the 3 episodes are out already. But I won't be playing it until all the episodes are out, because I generally like to keep things flowing. But yeah. But I'm hoping they explain it. Because it does end at a very... It's like, and that's the end.
Yeah, I mean, from what they do, and like Walking Dead, and I'm assuming most of the series which have more than the one, which Telltale make, they will carry some decisions at least you make from one series to across to another.
With The Walking Dead, though, I felt that final episode was very... It closed things up.
Things up that has a very, very good ending to it in simplistic terms.
Yeah. So, I mean, especially for the main character. Yeah, this doesn't have that. This doesn't have that feeling. It kind of has a feeling of like, it feels like there was going to be another episode, but they just didn't either do it in time, or it's like, we'll scrap it, we'll do next series. So, yeah. But yeah, great game overall.
That's cool. So I assume it's what it is. It's a simple recommendation to fans of Batman.
Easily.
Have access to it.
Just be forewarned of like a few changes in the lore. There's a few characters that don't act as you would expect them to. But besides that, it's a great little game.
Excellent. That's good to hear. Yeah. Available now on the Switch.
That it is.
Awesome. Before I jump in, I just want to check, and also just to not come across being rude. Harrison, is there anything that you've been playing that you would like to discuss?
Well, I actually have. I mean, I don't have much to talk about certainly on it, because I did talk about pre-show. Like I said, I do have Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but I decided I'm going to go through and finish Xenoblade Chronicles on 3D on my 3DS, and about a fourth of the way through. And my really kind of quick notes to it is like, yes, it's a very fine game that they actually were able to kind of, I forgot who has helped port the game, but I'm just amazed at how well they were able to kind of fit that whole thing on their adventure, even though a lot of textures look very muddy, and as far as draw distance, I mean, you really don't. It's definitely a downgrade when it comes to it visually for what you saw in the Wii version. But for this, though, it is quite the I mean, it's well done as far as everything that's. It's almost felt like a bit of a puzzle for me, whatever is when it gets into it. But my only kind of complaint is that when you're dealing with the UI on there, not that it gets cluttered, it just for such a small screen, it's very hard to kind of see when you're looking as far as your enemies. I mean, whether to topple or to break them. It's like there's moments where I'm like, oh, I can't see this or I can't move around, but that's my only times where I get a little bit frustrated. And, I'm fine with the combat because, I was well groomed, whatever, with X, which of course, that itself helped out right there. But yeah, I'm in with that right now. And like I said, with a possible direct coming out, who knows, this month, next month, March, we won't get one until March, something. God, wow. I think social media would just be insufferable to go through if you actually see that. I mean, you have people who are just like, no, we want this. I'm like, just calm down.
Yeah,
You got games right now to finish. So, but that's for me though. But you're not being rude, Lewis. You're simply just putting me on the spot and saying, all right, what have you been really playing? I'm like, okay.
I mean, I can simply not mention that. Or just, not pass the mic over to yourself, but someone's going to ask the question why isn't Lewis asking Harrison what he's been up to?
He's just,
why does he just skip him and go straight to the news?
You could always answer, be like, well, he's in trouble of sorts. Yeah. No.
There's obviously a lot of content in Xenoblade Chronicles that could keep one busy for quite some time. Oh yeah.
It was. I did find out who did. I did find out who ported it. It was. Sorry about that. I said Monster Games is who ported it over. So.
Yeah. Well, one of Monster Games. Yeah, quite a technical feat, being an epic game from the Wii down to the 3DS.
Yeah, it was
intact, as it were, one-to-one functionality.
And for the longest time, it was the only exclusive new 3DS game.
That's true.
Until Fire Emblem's the second.
Fire Emblem's the second, and you could technically say Hyrule Warriors Legends. Yes, it was released. It was released in the DS, but it ran like crap.
It did. I believe they have patched it since then, but when it first came out, it was unplayable. On 3DS.
And there's actually quite a few now, like digital-only games that are only playable on the new 3DS.
Yeah, you're right. There's I want to say Rumbo. I think Rumbo or
I think that's one of them. Yeah, but I think it also has a physical release to it. But yeah, there's a certain engine which new 3DS supports, which regular 3DS doesn't, and so that's a new avenue for indie devs and so on.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting one. This
also bizarrely, Super Nintendo is new 3DS only.
That is true.
Which I still don't understand.
Which is strange. I mean, I know there's some technical limitations, but even I look at that, I'm like, there's something here that's
yeah.
Yeah, boring technology stuff, unfortunately, most likely. On my front, I've picked up a couple of indie games recently.
Oh.
One which I had already played before and enjoyed, but I picked it up again. I picked up the two, I believe there's only two of them currently, SteamWorld games on the Nintendo Switch. So that would be SteamWorld Dig 2 and SteamWorld Heist Ultimate Edition.
Oh.
I picked up Dig 2 first because it was the new game and I've yet to play it.
Good choice.
And yeah, well, you say that. I'm going to start backpedaling in a moment with my decision making here. Dig 2 though, no, really good. Don't worry. It's
I was going to say, game.
I've put I think only about a couple of hours or so into it, but you can tell it's full of polish. It looks fantastic. This game, if you're playing it on the Switch screen or on the TV, it's one of like the sharpest 2D games I've seen. It's a real feat. This thing is. I mean, it might not come across in screenshots, but this thing in motion looks fantastic. Real high in the screenshots. And loads of it. And it's just kind of brimming with just atmosphere and charm. It really holds its mood really well. But the main thing about the game is its gameplay, which is also really cool. And it builds upon the first game. It has a real cool like wall jump mechanic to it, and I think more so than the first game, the progress in terms of getting new abilities has been enhanced quite a bit. There's a cool cog system where you can essentially you will collect these cogs and you can spend them to unlock new abilities, but you can also just move them around afterwards. And so you're not setting anything in stone. So
you can give up the abilities to...
Yes.
Okay.
Without cool. any sort of
like loss or...
disadvantage whatsoever. You can just move them around at a certain point. You go, I don't want this ability anymore. Pour them all into this one thing. So I have this really cool gun now, in theory. It's a cool system. Whereas, like, I assumed at first, like, I was going to spend my cogs and then that'll be it. They'll be spent. I'll have my thing and I have to go out and find more. But now you can repurpose them as you wish.
Okay.
Yeah, really cool like lighting effects. That's something I can't like express really how good this game looks or how surprised at how good this game looks. It's definitely worth seeking out.
So
high quality footage.
Very quick question: did you play the original?
I did, yes.
So how does it compare?
I mean, in terms of like the main kind of gameplay loop is there. It's similar, but it builds upon it.
Okay.
It does feel like it is a more, it feels like it's a higher budget version of the game, which I'm guessing it probably is.
Yeah, that's cool.
So not put a huge amount of time into it so far, but very impressed with what I've played so far. Definitely be going back and playing more of it. But the other game I wanted to mention was SteamWorld Heist. And I have at some point talked about it on this podcast, where I played it on the 3DS. But the Switch version I think it was because I was impressed with how how Dig 2 looked. I was, I wonder what Heist looks like. Remembering playing it on the 3DS, and I think I was just checking the screenshots on the eShop, and I was like, "Oh,
you're like sold."
Basically, yeah, they've basically done like the same sort of treatment, and this isn't the first time Heist has been available in HD,
Right.
and so I'm not sure if any. I would imagine that side hasn't actually changed, but yes, this game in HD looks fantastic, and also, I mean, playing on the TV is really cool as well, because it's a game which, it's a turn-based strategy game. It's good for that portable playing. You can still do that on the Switch. But it's the little moments, and I guess it's the one which Heist is known for, is kind of when you go to the bar, and you've got the bands, playing and singing and such. And I think it's something about having the fidelity of those 2D graphics, as well as that more high quality version of that tune playing out of your TV speakers.
Yeah,
that's such a nice mood it paints there. I just kind of sat my controller down and kind of just soaked that in for a bit. If you've not checked it out, do look out for it. It's got a really cool soundtrack, SteamWorld Heist. And if you hadn't heard of it before now, it is a turn-based strategy game where your units are controlled in a 2D platforming perspective. So you walk them around on a platformer, and you can walk them for, a certain amount of movement points, and then you get to shoot. And then the shooting is controlled, I think I best describe it as worms, if you've ever played a game of worms.
Yeah, that is definitely a good analogy. I think the coolest aspect of it is you control the shooting, you control the trajectory.
Yes.
But you can pull off some crazy shots because the bullets do bounce off the walls. And
that's really the big thing about it. So one, it's just kind of aiming the shot, like getting the angle right. But you can do trick shots, and it will encourage you to do so. And so I don't even think there's like any loss of like damage of doing so. But you can bounce your bullet off the ceiling,
I think
down to the floor, up into them, and as long as it makes contact, it's a clear shot.
And the coolest thing is that if you can shoot enemies' hats off and collect them.
You can. And there is no point at all to the hat system.
No.
That I'm aware of, and that's fantastic.
It's an aesthetic thing. It's cool though.
It's hats, and it'll give you a little description of the hats, but that's about it. There's no stats.
Nope.
They won't make you run faster. They won't protect you, but they might make you look cool.
Yeah.
What more could you wish for?
Exactly.
A steam-powered robot cowboy in space. They're having a cool hat. But Heist is a very cool game by definition. And I think that's going to wrap it up for my steamy games for today. I shall give some more steamy updates later on. But it's been cool. I've been kind of playing them a little bit in tandem. Play a bit of one, play a bit of the other. But they both make good. Some people find it very confusing how I will just jump between one game to the other. But
I want to try to do that, but again, it's just like when you do reviews and you do things for leisure, and you're just like, I can't. It's like it's a matter of like, that's one of my resolutions for this year. It's like take a decent dent out of my backlog for good. That way, I'm just not piling on too much. I mean, it's just that, and probably limiting some JRPGs. Not because I hate them. It's like there has to be a time and place for that. And after Xenoblade,
JRPGs, man, they're such a time consumption. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but on that note, Xenoblade 2 is worth your time.
I'm
stressed out. That's fantastic.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's going to be next. It's just, you know how many people asked me when I got a PS4, like, dude, play Persona 5, play Persona 5. I'm like, I have a stack this big of games that I need to get through, and 100+ hour JRPG is something where I'm like, I want to play it, but it's like, it's got to wait. Like that's like at the bar, that's at the end of everything where I'm like, you know what? I have these 7-hour games I got to finish. I got these little games. I need time. Time, it's just like, there's not enough hours in the day.
Yeah. Before we move on, there's a comment in the live chat I want to respond to from Mr. Cyan, who simply asked Worms, WMD, or Heist. I think the answer is that simple because I'm not sure I've mentioned. I also have played Worms, WMD on the Switch. It's just, do you want to play some single player or do you want to play some multiplayer? If you want to play single player, you don't pick up Worms, in my opinion. As much as I like Worms, that is a multiplayer game. I mean, it would be cool if Heist had multiplayer, but I guess that would make it Worms.
Yeah.
So that's my advice on that one. But it's a decent version of Worms, WMD on the Switch. So if you've not played some Worms in a while and you've got the itch, it's a good version. I can vouch for it. I've played most of them. All right, then. So now would usually be the time we move on to some Nintendo news. But as I alluded to at the beginning of the show, we do have a little bit of bonus gaming to go through. Colin, you're up this time.
Oh, marvelous.
Pick a number between 1 and 5.
1 and 5. Let's go down the middle. 3.
Number 3. Okay. On which console was New Super Mario Bros. First released? I think I might drop the multiple choices now.
The news. Originally,
Super Mario Bros. First release. What system?
I'm trying to recall if it was on DS first or Wii. I'm going to say DS.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And Harrison.
I'm like sweating. Like, you better know this. this is beyond a layup. This is like off the tee.
We've had some easy questions so far.
No.
Will we get another one now, Harrison?
Oh.
1 to 5, please.
Give me 2.
Number 2. Which game has Digger Leg? Okay, which game has Digger Leg as a boss? And I will give you the multiple choice.
Yeah, give me the multiple. Okay, I need to refresh on that one.
A. Super Mario Galaxy. B. Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Ooh.
C. Super Mario 64 DS.
Okay.
Super Mario Sunshine. I can read that out again if you need.
It's one of the Galaxy games. I'm gonna have to say
Digger Leg.
2? 2. Galaxy 2.
Correct.
Oh,
wow.
you pulled that at the back.
Because I was
so far.
Because I was thinking about the spin top or the spin drill power up. I'm like, yeah, because there was a galaxy where you had to like go through each of the planetoids. Okay, yeah, all right.
Okay, and that brings us nicely to the Nintendo news of some even scores. First on the agenda, the Switch has been selling quite well, is the headline here. With 4.8 million Nintendo Switches sold in the United States in the last 10 months, making it the fastest selling console ever. Breaking the record of the previous holder of the Nintendo Wii. Or just the Wii, I guess, by Nintendo. Yeah. Crazy numbers. The Switch is doing incredibly well.
That's an incredible stat.
It is, and it's amazing. I mean, knowing that Nintendo's able to been pumping their chest about this, like knowing like how they first up their account, like, hey, we've sold 10 million worldwide in less than a year, and now you have just about 5 million of these sold in the U.S. and being like a record breaker at this point and at this pace but I was like going through my head, I'm like, didn't the PS2 or the PS4 do this first? But again, it was those number crunch where I'm like, it made me a little hesitant thinking like it was right, but still, I mean, any good news is good news for this. And to me, it's like I did hear more about this going how I just hope that Nintendo doesn't get like complacent. It seemed like with their like, oh, it's selling well, we don't really need to correct these things with the OS, but that's a whole different thing. I saw somebody get piled on Twitter for saying like, oh, I'm glad it's selling well, but where's this? And like, it's legitimate concerns, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't believe that idea that it's like, oh, just because it's selling well, they're not going to correct it. But enough of the negativity on that one. I'm saying this is good. This is good for it.
I think it's a good sign that it's broke the Wii record, and the Wii had a huge benefit of being a super casual system, and that's pretty much what it sold it on motion controls. This doesn't. It has it, but it's not the focus. So
absolutely true. I mean, not to discredit this record-breaking sales, but obviously the Wii did suffer quite badly for stock issues.
That was
quite a while.
Stock issues for that were really prevalent up until I would have to say from 2006 to I want to say crossed in 2008 at least.
Yeah. Either way, we're not just comparing this to the Switch, we're comparing this to all systems. So it's done incredibly well.
Mm. No, I'm like, it's good, but I'm just kind of looking up more to see what was the more fastest selling, but still,
I mean, PS2 has to be the fastest, right?
Well, PS4 is one of their PS4 is fastest selling console in Sony's history, second fastest selling console in UK, and one thing I have to realize that aside from the US and right in Japan, the Switch is about to surpass the Wii U's lifetime cycle right now, which of course is not surprising. What we'd seen in that, how many units it sold, but Wii U, poor, I know. To me, it will still live on, in some form or capacity.
It will live on.
It will live on in the corner where it gathers more dust than it will be. But Switch still does have some problems though. You had to say the UK. I feel like that's one area that even Nintendo is still having trouble in.
Yeah. You can't blame that on me, okay?
I'm not blaming that on you at all.
Well, you definitely can't blame it on me, so you can blame one of us.
I don't know. What's another British personality we can blame this on?
Mostly fictional. I think the other thing worth discussing here. So obviously, Switch is selling incredibly well. We know what Nintendo's forecasting to sell this year, which is an additional 20 million units worldwide. Do we think this success is going to balloon up to the expected levels by Nintendo themselves?
Blow up as in
hit those goals this year?
Well, when they initially did the amount they wanted to sell, I think it was something around 15. What they did their investors meeting, when I looked at that, I thought to myself, I think they're just, and I mentioned this before, it's are they just lowballing this number? Because I think they said they wanted the fiscal year they wanted to sell 15 million, and I think that's easily going to cross over. So, do I think it could have? If they continue the output of games out there, yeah, and knowing that this is still, I wouldn't say easy to find, it's relatively good to find out there. Yeah, so there are no stock issues. So I could easily see that happening.
Yeah, I think it all depends if they can maintain the momentum going into this year. Because 2017 was a killer year for.
Oh yeah, it was.
So yeah, they need to keep on top of that and just keep the releases coming. That's vital because that's what we want. Console. We need games for it. So yeah.
And this kind of cycles back to the ever-present issue of when are Nintendo going to announce their lineup for this year? Because what we know of the lineup this year doesn't sound like a 20 million sales. You need some big hitters, and we don't have those big hitters announced yet. And so that's the problem. All evidence points to a direct happening ASAP, really, because I want to get the news out so we've got the lineup for this year at least.
Well, knowing that, it's a matter of what is going to be the big game this year to sell those Switches. Are people just going to be those who have waited for a while and then they pick up Breath of the Wild or even Super Mario Odyssey? But I feel is Nintendo going to focus this year on more on the third parties, as in whether it's old content or exclusive, new updated content that's or multi-platform? I
mean, they kind of have to because. I mean, Metroid is, I would say, it's a number 3 franchise, but I think it's a distant third compared to Mario and Zelda.
I wouldn't. You have to, if we're talking about franchises here, I mean, you have Mario, Zelda, you have Pokemon. You can even go as far as saying even Donkey Kong, that no slight against, Metroid at all. But if you're talking about 3 franchises that are adored, yes, you have Metroid, Mario, and Zelda in terms of critical, games that mean such critical success.
Yeah.
And financial success, that's a different story. So Does I don't know. Do you think something that's almost a little bit niche, but it's gotten so popular right now, like Fire Emblem on Switch, is going to be that main selling point? Maybe this year? I mean, it sounds ludicrous when I say that, but it's like, do they try to push that out?
I mean, if you consider the Fire Emblem's history, but yeah, I mean, it might be the most anticipated game of the year.
That's at this point. I don't think it's going to be what they're going to be placing their bets on, as it were. But that series is definitely on an upward trajectory in terms of popularity. So you never know. They might be hoping for a big splash. I mean, they probably are expecting a big splash fire in Japan, at least. They're probably expecting at least a couple million just in Japan.
Do you know what's one game like we need to like figure out what happens? I mean, like, Pikmin 4. Like, didn't Miyamoto at one point say, "Oh, yeah, it's practically done"?
Yeah. Well, there's the thing though. The wording we're not sure about that was that. Hey Pikmin, hey, was he talking about Hey Pikmin on the 3DS, or did they decide like, hey, it's practically done, but they decide to move the resources for this thing onto the Switch?
Most likely.
So,
yeah,
you never know. I mean, we could see that, but I mean, like, I think the numbers Nintendo's touting does obviously show very strong confidence in what they've got lined up. And so I don't think it's simply like, they had a great first year, and now it's time to, sit back and let the third parties reap the benefits. Because I don't think that necessarily grows the console base. It's definitely not at that sort of multiplication. And so I think we're going to have some big hitters, and it might just be as simple as they've got some particularly strong ones and not necessarily lots of individual ones. And so it could be that if they've got Pokemon locked in, that might be, all they need. They can just sit back and go, okay, we've got that big game. That's all we're going to need to push systems throughout the holiday season. That's all we need. Or it could be there are, some maybe not as epic scale as a dream Pokemon game for Switch could be, but some, releases dot throughout the year, which is what I would expect. But yeah. When we hear about it, that is the ever-pressing question. But it's a waiting game on that one.
It really is. It's fun to speculate as far as like what's going to be this year. I mean, look like this time last year when we got the Switch event, and we all said to ourselves, "Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Fire Emblem Warriors. No, that's not coming out this year. No, that's not." Everything met the date. That is just, I don't know, and that's why I always get that feeling. I'm like, oh. Is Prime 4 releasing this year? And again, I'm 99.9% sure. No, it's not, because again, we haven't seen footage, and we don't know who's developing it. But I point to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's like look at that. I mean,
honestly, if I was to predict it, I would say yes. Prime 4 is coming this year. I think it is. I think it's like the tail end of this year. It's in the Xenoblade 2 spot for 2018.
Oh, so Metroid's coming out this year?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still uncertain, just because they literally just showed a logo.
Yeah,
thing.
That's true.
Whereas at least the difference with Xenoblade, when they announced Xenoblade 2, they had a lot to show.
I mean, they had a trailer, a very
environments and characters and mechanics, and
that's true.
We just had Prime 4 written on a screen, basically.
What do you need? So
yeah. I'm not going to rule it out, but I'm not placing any money bets on it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump into our next piece of news, and it's kind of related in a way. One of the games we do know which is coming out is Bayonetta 2, which is next month with Bayonetta 1, and we know some more information about it, at least confirmed information. Some of this kind of came around with the announcement of it, but we now know exactly what is and what isn't being included in these Switch releases for Bayonetta. And the good news is the Tag Climax co-op mode, which was in the original Bayonetta 2 release, now supports local two-player support in terms of two switches over local Wi-Fi playing the game. And in addition to that, you can now unlock the Nintendo-themed outfits via Amiibo, as in addition to being unlocking them throughout progressing the game.
So you just save yourself some like in-game currency.
I think the way it worked, I can't remember exactly what it worked before, but was it just that certain parts of the story you would unlock further outfits, or would you have to buy them?
I
You had to
forget.
buy
Currency?
them. You had to, I believe you had to buy them.
Okay, then yes, it saves your virtual currency.
Well, I do know. Well, I do know in the first game. I do know in the first game they were available right from the get-go.
Yes, the first one. Yes,
Mhm.
that's correct.
Mm.
Those costumes are
So,
really
yeah,
cool
it's-
as well.
Not a huge list of additions for this, but
I mean, you don't need a huge lot of additions for
You don't.
Bayonetta 2 because that game's full of content as is. Honestly, that's one of the shining gems of the Wii U, and I'm glad it's getting like a second home on the Switch. Are we getting the second game before the first game though?
we're getting them both
No,
on
no,
the same
no.
date.
They're the same day, but like this, the physical edition will have the cart, but also a code to download it. And I'm assuming probably if you were wanting just to buy Bayonetta 2, I'm sure it's at a reduced price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did a similar thing when they hit the Wii U. If you go digital, when you buy one, you'll get a discount on the other, whichever that may
Right.
be. So I imagine they'll do the same setup here for the digital versions of those games.
Yeah, and honestly, like people grab both games because they are both really good. So I would say 2 is slightly better than the first one, but they're both
I would agree.
extremely good games. So
But yeah, I'll be trying this one out though. I barely tried it out with Bayonetta 2, the tag climax. So just to have somebody else. I don't know. To have somebody local with me is a nice one to try because I think that was one of the more. Even if I had I played it briefly. It was still one of the more surprising things I actually enjoyed from that game, which I of course just adored.
yeah, I didn't play too much of that mode, but I was too busy in the main game to be honest. There was so much stuff to do, so many things to find. So yeah, but
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's cool.
I shall be picking up. I mean, the other thing I hope is included, but hasn't been mentioned, is just a little bit of technical performance increase.
okay.
Now, you know, the original games look good.
The
but
game ran
it
super smooth though.
It did most of the time. It targeted 60, but sometimes it would.
Yeah, no, you're right. It
like that. So hoping
No.
it can just kind of stay at 60 for longer, as it were.
Yeah, the frame rate would dip a little bit here and there, but again, I still but other than that time, it still flowed flawless. It still flowed pretty well.
That's true. And that's basically what we've got for the news this week. It's been a bit of a slow news week.
Yeah, slow but crazy a little bit, as in non-news or expecting directs. But
Yeah, there's something bubbling under the surface. We'll see.
And you know what's bubbling under the surface now? More Nintendo questions.
oh, great!
This time, Harrison, you're starting first.
Of course,
Pick between 1 and 5, please.
I will pick 1.
1. In what game was Baby Mario introduced? I'll keep standard format. You get all the answers.
No, I'll answer. I'll answer without. I'll answer without.
Okay.
He knows this.
It's
Okay, go on.
I will. And I'll say the full title because it's the full title. I don't care. Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World 2.
I will accept that even though you said it the wrong way around.
Oh, no, Super Mario 2.
It's a second.
Well, yeah, it is.
I think that's debatable, to be honest. But yes,
It is, but-
you scored the point. Colin,
Here we
Yay.
go. Watch me fail. Here we go.
1 to 5.
104.
Number 4.
Yeah.
What was the first Donkey Kong game on the Wii U?
Tropical Freeze.
It was.
It's
Two
the only
easy ones.
Donkey Kong
2
game.
easy points.
It's
A
the only
game-
Donkey Kong game.
A game I really do hope. A game I really do hope gets ported to the Switch because
Yeah.
I think I like that.
I
I love that game. I love it.
Yeah. That's just I gotta hope all the Wii U's greatest hits get ported to the Switch. I mean, just so they get another
Well, there are some that probably wouldn't be able to.
chance.
Well,
This is true. Yeah, just the unique qualities of the Wii U. Some things.
it's the same thing when you look at as like the Wii era. Like, there's a ton of games out there that are just going to be stuck
You
in.
could
It's
give
stuck
an
there.
example of like Wii U game that wouldn't work on Switch.
Nintendo Land.
Nintendo Land.
Nintendo, you're right. Okay, okay, but if people are clamoring for Nintendo Land to be on Switch, then
Hey, it's got an audience. People thought that's pretty underrated. I mean, I didn't like it as much as anybody out there, but
Nintendo
Captain Toad is probably one. I think. I won't. No.
I think Captain Toad could work pretty well, right?
I think Pikmin 3, unfortunately. Well, you could. No, Pikmin 3, you could do that, but Star Fox Zero obviously could work on there, knowing his control scheme.
That's with his quirky control scheme.
I don't know. Kotaku did a list of this. I could find it.
It'll be interesting to see how they handle Wonderful 101 if they do port that. It's kind of being hinted at with some artwork. But
well, you could play that with the sticks, though, right?
I'm not sure.
I think you
could.
No,
as in you could, but there were certain points where you would like jump onto the bottom screen, like you would enter a building, and then you would be in the building on your gamepad. Or there's when you're drawing shapes and such, and there's a lot of weird uses of it in that game.
I'm sure they could work it out at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure they could, but yeah. There's Wii U games which use the gamepad in unique ways. Not a huge amount of them.
Not a huge amount.
Well, what about Devil's Third? Come on.
I honestly forgot that game existed. Yeah, you're right.
Does that use the gamepad in unique ways?
No.
Is this an easy port?
I'm just saying, knowing that the Nintendo sent that game out to die. Not that I didn't blame them.
Did it? I was gonna say they must play it because I never got around to playing it.
I played it. I played Devil's Third.
Verdict, if you can remember.
Well, I can remember. How would you forget something like Devil's Third? I
don't know.
I only played the single player. I didn't play the multiplayer, which apparently was actually quite good.
Yeah, I heard the multiplayer was actually kind of fun.
I never touched that. I'm not sure it was intentionally, but it was a funny game.
Okay.
I quite enjoyed the time I spent with Devil's Third.
Is it like so bad it's good kind of thing?
Kind of. I mean, the gameplay was fine.
Yeah.
That's something. It wasn't like great by any means, but it kind of had this like action hero type charm to it.
Yeah.
And like it was like being in a 90s action movie sort of thing.
I'm pretty sure I could probably find that game dirt cheap. I got a good hands on it and just play it.
Yeah, it comes up with some crazy scenarios and such. If you find it cheap, I would recommend it.
Yeah,
on that front.
Right now in Europe, there's two left right now. I'm going to say $29 physical version. In the United States, there's only one left in stock. What I'm seeing right here is $78 for physical.
I'm not paying that much. I'm not that desperate to play it.
Okay. We have some super topics we can go through. We've not done some in a while, and we've got more than we can go through today, at least, which is good. That's good in itself. And so, what's our first super topic question? I think both of these, and a few more which we won't go through today, from Daniel Gaskin. And so, thank you very much, Daniel. If you want to send in your own super topics, you can do so, and also support us at the same time by going to patreon.com/Nintendo Voice. And it's not just for questions. You can essentially give us topics or themes or for full features for this show. Any tier of support, just chuck us either a comment or add a comment, as it were, to a dedicated post around super topics. Then we'll add your topic in a future episode. And so Daniel's question, reimagining HD Deluxe Turbo Championship Edition. With the potential of any game from Nintendo's entire back catalogue being playable on the Switch, Wii U re-releases and everything else on the Virtual Console, and the constant discussions of Mario Sunshine HD and Skyward Sword HD, what game from the archive would you like to see remade in HD, e.g. Twilight Princess or Wind Waker? Reimagined, Metroid Samus Returns, or given deluxe treatment, e.g. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
So we're going through each of these three categories to say what we want, right?
I reckon we can just pick any, really. I don't think we all have to give one for each. It's just any of those things are up for grabs. What would we like to see?
Who wants to go first?
Who wants to go first?
I can throw one out there.
All right, go ahead, Colin.
I want to see a complete, full, 2.5D. Well, not even that. Like a full HD 2D remake of Metroid Fusion. I think that'd be really cool.
I like that.
If it can look anything oddly like the SteamWorld heist graphic style or SteamWorld 2, I'd be pretty up for that. That'd be amazing.
Well, what would you change though about that? I know the complaint that what we see with this game that is, it doesn't really let you explore much. And plus it's a chatty Cathy type of game, which again, it didn't bother me. Even though I felt like Zero Mission really gave me that need of a true Metroid experience. And I still say, everybody, if you haven't played Fusion, play Fusion. It's still a good, important part of the story.
Honestly, I mean, I feel like Fusion is a superior game to Zero Mission. Purely because it does try something different. It has a more involved story. And people are like, oh, but if you want a story-based Metroid game, play Other M. I was like, well, the script in Fusion's way better than the script in Other M. I'll say that much. I won't change too much, really. I just love the core game itself. But I feel like it could be just made to look... I just feel like it could be done in the style like Samus Returns. I think it could be really good.
I like
just to check. Is this like Samus Returns, like the reimagining category, or do you just want that game but with hand drawn?
Well, I mean, it has to be like, yeah, I guess it is kind of more reimagining, really.
Okay.
Because honestly, it could use the Samus Return engine. Because that game looks amazing on 3DS. So yeah, I'll be happy with that.
All right, so you wouldn't necessarily need to change like any of the structure of the game or tweak anything. It just needs that graphical polish to it. Is that all? I mean,
there could be some tweaks or some parts were, I'm not going to say broken, but a little unfair in places. When you're being hunted by SAS. So, but yeah, apart from that, like a few tweaks here and there. I just felt the game could be, I don't know, be kind of cool to see it reach more people. I feel like it's one of the forgotten Metroid games. I
personally, though, I mean, I'd play something like this. I would. But if given the choice between this or a continuation of a game after Fusion, like what happened after the events of that, I think I would like that more. But again, this is reimaginings and such, so that's the whole different case with it. I mean, I've heard people wanting to say like, "Hey, let's get a reimagining of Super Metroid," and I feel like
it's not necessary.
It's not necessary, and I just feel like you can't mess with perfection there. I really don't think so. But I do have one, but this was actually talked about by developer Jules Watson, who of Mutant Mudds fame, and he tweeted out about how he was interested in coloring Wario Land from the Virtual Boy. A game that is fairly well done. It's just the fact that, like we talked many times in the podcast, like, which you can basically, well, no, you can sum up every Virtual Boy game like these are fine, but the problem is it's on Virtual Boy. That's it. That sums up. It's just unnecessary. But I would really like to see.
If you love Red and Black, the Virtual Boy is the console for you, because every single game is Red and Black.
Yeah. No, I would really like to see that. I'd really like to see like a cheap, like, give them it's something I would feel like it's a Wario Land game I feel like people should probably experience out there. Not that it's like people are clamoring for it, but one I'd really like to see just give it another chance, like say on an eShop. And now in terms of an HD remake, I did float around the idea of Skyward Sword HD probably, but it's a matter of like what would they do as far as like the control scheme with the Joy-Cons. I feel like if they were able to translate that over to, from with the Wiimote and over here, I feel like it could be fairly done. But is that type of game I think like that people are willing to revisit now that we're in this post Breath of the Wild world?
Right. Yeah.
That's the troubling thing for me, because even when I played Twilight Princess HD, which is, I was fine to kind of revisit despite that slow opening just to get through. I just did not really. I don't know. It's that type of games I don't feel like getting revisited. But again, if I'd say reimagining or something that's a sequelized, let's do something as far as a Link Between Worlds. I want to see something that's like, I want to see Link's Awakening redone.
Ooh,
I'd really like to see that.
That would be cool.
A game which already had the deluxe treatment.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The first thing I thought when this question came up.
Link's Awakening is an interesting Zelda game. Because it blends in like with the Mario universe in some areas. It's really weird.
I reckon that would be a great pick, really. And like, what if you could, like, it sounds greedy to do so, but I would just group it up with all the Game Boy Zelda games. So basically the season games. And also,
you mean Game Boy Advance as well? So like Minish Cap gets through.
Yeah, and Minish Cap and such. I like to see all the portable Zelda games given some sort of deluxe treatment where they have nice, if possible, I'm not sure you could even put widescreen support on them, but make them look good on a TV. I
mean, you don't need too much work with Minish Cap. I played it fairly recently. It still looks amazing. Yeah, the sprite work on that game is incredible.
That's true. I guess more so the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color games, because they're really good games. But I think it's going to be so little new people are going to go back and play those games.
Exactly. Yeah.
And yeah, if they put basically if they can make those games look like A Link to the Past on a base level sort of thing, that would be cool. If they could go a step further and like make it something where it does look crazy good, like in HD graphics, even better. But yeah, that would be cool.
I do have another one.
Go on. You go on.
I would quite like. It's not really a remake, more again a reimagining of Eternal Darkness. I think Eternal Darkness in HD with like even more sanity effects could be incredible.
Yeah, because that's what they would have to change. Is have to update the sanity effects.
Yeah,
they would.
They can't use the whole your memory card's corrupted because we're like, what are you talking about?
The volume on my TV does not look like this.
Exactly. He's like, oh, controller one's unplugged. It's like, okay, yeah.
No, my fear with that game particularly is, it's one of my favorite GameCube games of all time, and one that I feel like if I do revisit, it's something I don't know. I have that fear where I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy it as much because while its combat felt simplified, it leaned heavily on its sanity effects and its atmosphere for it to kind of put to me. I mean, and even its writing. That's why I feel like did to me. It's like if you strip everything away, it's nothing really special. But still, the idea of what it did and what it was in that time of the industry was, I felt like, a nice little breath of fresh air for everything. And I mean, it was met with good critical praise at the time. But here, I don't know. That'd be one. Yeah, it'd be cool if an HD release out there. But it's one that I feel like I could see people looking back like, yeah, this hasn't aged well.
I mean, a fair portion will have to be updated. But I don't know. I feel like the core game itself still has something to offer. It does something different that you don't see much these days. That kind of the whole sanity side of the gameplay. I mean, that game could have had an amazing sequel, but it never happened. So
no, it could, but Silicon Knights had to. Well, knowing their history of what they had to do.
Yeah. Oh, lordy.
One for myself. It's a game I've mentioned in the past, but I think it fits the bill, at least for me.
It's not Splatoon, is it?
It's not Splatoon. Well, it's not Splatoon 2. I'm happy. For a while, at least. No, of course. It's Kirby's Dream Course.
Ah, okay.
Really?
To be fair, I mean, it's
Harrison's like, what?
Harrison is shocked. He's never heard me mention this game before, clearly. No, the reason I mention it's a fine-looking Super Nintendo game, but I feel give it a few modern niceties to it. I mean, ideally, you chuck some online play in there as well to get people actually who don't have the opportunity for local play getting the chance to to experience the joy of Dream Course. But no, I think there's a genuine, like, solid, unique game there, which I don't think anything's really doing currently. So I like to see somehow that be revived. I think a deluxe version could be quite cool. Yeah, polish up a bit, make it look a little nicer, but chuck it in some online play and some sort of different modes to support that. But yeah, all the core mechanics and such are all solid. They're all sound already. Yeah, so that's what I'd do if I had the money. Nintendo.
If you had the money, here, make it. Please make this. Right, what do you want to make? We got all this money. Kirby's Dream Course. Are you sure?
Breath of the Wild on it.
That's all I got from my games too. Whatever. But as far as deluxe, like say of Mario Kart Deluxe, I think we want a Smash Brothers for Wii U. Well, Smash Brothers 4, but I think we're so far removed to that point. I mean, again, they could surprise us. I feel like that it would be best to kind of move on to a 5th iteration, but
yeah,
it all depends on Sakurai. It all depends on Masahiro Sakurai if he wants to continue doing it.
Okay. One more I would like to add in.
Oh.
F-Zero GX DX.
Ooh. GXDX.
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 It just rolls off the tongue.
And this would be a HD version. So it is exactly the same game, just HD. Because it already ran like 60 frames, if memory serves.
On GameCube.
Exactly. Just have that running in 1080. I think that would look pretty good without any sort of anything else done to it.
You have fast, but don't know if you count.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, I mean, like,
it's the same game.
I mean, like F-Zero is F-Zero still. I mean, it's got these cool, unique tracks. I mean, and GX is also quite a unique game where you could.
It's the best racer. It's the best racer on the GameCube. So
yeah. You could build your own ships as well. Like, there was a bunch of different modes and stuff you could do in that. I reckon a HD version of GX, or a DX version, of course, would be great.
If they could add in more courses and stuff, yeah. I think the thing going for F-Zero and Fast is F-Zero has way more character than Faster. So, yeah, definitely, that could work.
Awesome. Yeah. Anyone else want to chuck any other DXs, HDs, or RIs? Reimagines?
I would actually like to see a enhanced version, like a DX version. They've done it with Dragon Quest games now for 3DS. I'd like to see Dragon Quest 9 get the same treatment.
It was 7 and 8. Oh, I'm trying to think. Oh, 7 and 8 got that. All right.
Yeah. So I like to see
the DS game. Yeah.
I'd like to see 9 get it because 9 was a DS game, but I think they could push it even further now. It's one of the best like DS games. Dragon Quest 9. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was polygonal, so it would be interesting to see what that would look like in HD. I want to chuck in one more. Hopefully, I've not forgotten about it already. It's like lined up. I've remembered it. We might have mentioned this one before. Kid Icarus Uprising HD.
Oh
yeah, I you know what, I would, and people who clamor for fixing the controls on that one, no, that's a game that was built around that idea. I would feel like tightening up the on-ground stuff, but other than that, everything's good. I wouldn't mind just replaying that one again because that was a game I kind of dreaded playing because it got it as a Club Nintendo reward before it shut down.
Yeah,
and I was actually surprised by it. But its writing though is very top notch there as far as humor, right. And Nintendo America's like localization team did a fine job doing that with that.
So I think somewhere inside in Kid Icarus Uprising, there's a good game. There's a good game in there, but those controls, like the pain to sit through the controls.
It's not bad. It's not really bad when you're flying and doing that. It's not.
The fly stages are great. It's just on the ground where you have to control the camera. On top of everything else, it's
I'm not going to excuse it. They're not good controls, but if you can
comfortable, they're not comfortable. I'll give it that.
Work around. There is a good game outside of all that. But yeah, I mean, also just there's a lot of just surprisingly like cool, good-looking set pieces in that game, and especially because it was a fairly early 3DS game. I was like, wow, like especially like some of the flying scenes, like you would see, like the. Either it's a sunset or sun rising, and you see it like reflecting across the ocean, and like the camera will like pan across, there's like a big dragon going after you, and there's lots of just details being chucked at you. And yeah, I think it's ripe for being HDified.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. It needs to be on a system with 2 analog sticks. It'd be great.
Switch has got 2.
Yeah, it does. So thumbs up.
As well, if you want to start scribble on that to move
if
around.
you want to go back to the old control method, there's that. But yeah, no, that's cool. I can see that. That'd be. I'm surprised they haven't done that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I mean, the game was. It's incredibly well made. It is incredibly well made. High production value and all that. So yeah, they should revisit that.
Cool. Shall we jump on to one more super topic?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Or do you have more Nintendo questions just to surprise us?
Why not? Since you lost. Here we go.
Oh,
Colin, on the phone.
okay. Okay, bring it.
Is Colin gonna play like our former bonus round music in between this? So like it's like you hear that noise? What? It's Nintendo questions. Great.
That's what reminded me. I heard the music going.
It's going in my head. It's going in my head. It won't
What's it
leave
going to
me.
be? What's it going to be, Colin? What's your number?
Between
1 and 5.
okay, 1 and 5. 5.
Number 5.
Yep.
In which Japanese city are Nintendo's headquarters?
Oh.
And I guess I should do the multiple choice in all these, shouldn't I?
Yeah, but it's going to have the 2 of the ones in there in my head. I bet you.
A. Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
B.
Yep.
Kyoto.
Damn it.
C. Yokohama. Or D. Sapporo.
I'm going to say, is it Kyoto?
I believe you are correct. Let's confirm.
Yeah.
Wait,
I believe.
What quiz
don't
answer
know?
are you? You don't know the
Correct.
answer.
I just confirmed it was in fact correct. I said I believed. And Harrison.
Hit me.
We got tied scores so far, so no pressure.
No pressure.
1 to 8, just to mix things up.
Give me 7.
Number 7. Which of these items is the only one to have been in a Mario Kart game? Okay. A. Cannon. B. Yellow shell. C. Warp pipe. Or D. Bullet bill.
Bullet bill. How would a pipe work?
I'm not sure.
In a racing game.
Even score so far. We'll do one more at the end. See if we find any of those tricky ones.
We'll see.
However, one more super topic for today's show. And thank you again, Daniel Gaskin, for this next question. When games go wrong, what are the worst games you've ever played or purchased? And if given the chance, what game would you like to re-release but make better? E.g., Mario Kart Deluxe, including Battle Mode, Battle Mode Arenas and DLC. I'd welcome a re-release of Star Fox Zero with normal controls.
See, there's that again.
End of question.
The same thing with. This is not to disparage. I mean, even if you want to play it that way, Daniel, that's fine. It's the same thing with Kid Icarus Uprising. It's like to take out those control schemes would to be take out what is the mechanic that is actually building the whole thing. You take that whole thing out, the whole thing just kind of goes bottom out. And I think when you look at Zero, though, it just shows that like how the series pretty much peaked at 64, not because it was perfection or anything like that. It's because there's not much you can. It just feels like they haven't been able to find a way to actually do something that's beyond just an on-rail shooter, like how to go beyond that. And do I blame for trying something different with that? No, I don't. It wasn't for everybody. Now, worst game I ever played? I know that's a weird segue. Well, played or purchased. I'll tell you a game I was disappointed that I purchased that I really felt like I didn't want to buy at full price, and I was hyped for it, was Star Fox Adventures.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
I liked it. I bought it excited once I got through with it, and I just felt so disappointed with something like that. For me, where it was, I think I would have been less disappointed if it was its own little IP that Rare did, but I understood, but then again, they had to, Miyamoto had to come in and slap the Star Fox name onto it because the character that was there. Well, the character there looked like Fox McCloud, so that's where the comparison did it, and then they changed that. So I just did not like how really it delved into the worst parts of many Rare's games, which sort of central part is the collectathon. Yeah. See, I just can't stand when you lose and yes, Banjo-Kazooie perfects that a little bit. But when you rely heavily too much on it, it just gets me really. No. It's busy work that I don't like.
See, Banjo-Kazooie, I would say, does perfect that. I think Banjo-Tooie is why it starts going overboard. I honestly thought, Harrison, you were going to say Superman 64. For some reason, I was like, oh my god, he's going to say Superman 64.
But there were times when I was a youngin that I actually entertained the idea. I'm like, oh, I like Superman the animated series, and I was like,
I think we all did.
Thank God my conscience told me like, don't do it. I'm like, but. But that's one that's disappointing. But first game, I could say Rent. And this was one that I did for 2 weekends, way more so than I shouldn't have done, and that's Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh my!
So simply put, when you give Shadow a gun, I'm sorry. These are things that don't mesh well.
How did you get past the opening cutscene? I saw that and I was like, what the heck is this? What is this?
I don't know. The more I think about it, just gives me PTSD. So the less, the better. So that's me. That's me. What about you guys?
I didn't buy it. I mean, I asked for it way back in the N64 days for a birthday gift, and then I was just like, I wasted a birthday present on this. Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero Mythologies. What a terrible game that is. You guys play that?
Oh, I rented that one. That was like, I think I played, no, I didn't rent it. I actually played a demo of it at a Funko Land. And I think about 10 seconds into it, like, I thought like, oh, a fighting game involving Sub-Zero. I didn't know anything about it. And I was like, this is a 2D platformer that with nope.
No, exactly. It's
never played. I've seen of it though. Yes.
Why would you do like it's kind of like an adventure game, but entirely based in the Mortal Kombat fighting engine. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It has some of the shoddiest jumps or platforming in any game ever made. It's horrendous. So yeah, there's that. I'm trying to think of the worst game that I actually bought. I can't think of anything. Nothing's really jumping out to mind. Can I say a console? Can I say the Vita?
Wait,
sure.
Wait, really?
the Vita is the biggest regret I've ever.
You can let's clarify.
It's the memory cards.
No, just the system itself. I bought it thinking, yes, console quality gaming on the go. Then I realized there were actually no real quality games out for it, and most of the games were shoddy ports. So
it was a great indie. It's a great indie platform.
It is. No, I will give you that. It is. But I feel like there are better platforms out for indie games.
It's a platform it's a well-made machine. It's dawned by lack of like support from the company that made it, and the fact that you do have the proprietary memory cards and things to deal with. That's what really led to its downfall, and that in price. I mean, when you saw the 3DS actually lower its price down a little bit more, it's just, I don't know. I just felt doomed to it. So
no, absolutely. I was. I don't know. I think I was expecting something more akin to I love playing games on the Wii U gamepad. I was like, oh, the Vita is that, but it's not. It's I'm trying to think. On the Wii, I never owned a Wii until recently, but I did play Red Steel on the Wii.
I was just thinking of the same.
And I didn't think that was.
I'll add that as an honorable mention. That was one that I Red Steel 2 though is good.
Oh, is it? No, I've seen Red Steel 2. Okay.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with Red Steel because it had a lot of buzz around it. It was a launch game. It kind of showed well pre-release, There are some very suspiciously good-looking screenshots of that game floating around.
Suspiciously, yes. It's putting it kindly.
Like, exactly, as in, like, far more powerful than anything that we could actually do by the time it came out. Like, you know, good-looking 360 game type screenshots. But no, I mean, I was very obviously open to, like, motion controls and such. But how Red Steel played was bizarre. I would just find myself trying to like spin around rooms and such, and it was very hard just to navigate around that place. And I'm not sure it's just a matter of maybe it was getting a grip with the system and not returning back to it. But I mean, I had like no problems at all with, say, Metroid Prime 3 when that dropped. Like that just felt right. But yeah, Red Steel was this weird. It felt like it was trying to do half of like a gallery type shooter where you're just pointing at things. But also moving around, obviously, a proper environment, as well as looking around at the same time. It was a bit of a mess.
Yeah, sounds right.
Anything else anyone wants to add?
No, just bad memories. That's it for some things that I get to. I'm just curious, Lewis. What are yours?
Okay, well, apart from Red Steel, I did have that one lined up in the barrel. I mean, like traditionally, we'd mention like some certain Sonic games and such.
Do you like those?
Exactly, that's the problem there.
That's the issue.
A lot of bad games I quite like, so I do find genuine difficulty answering this question.
The issue with Lewis is you're too forgiving.
I am.
When it comes to those games.
Especially when it comes to games. You can find fun in games, but can I think? Let me at least think of my worst Sonic then. And to be honest,
it has to be Boom.
I don't think it is Boom. I actually
okay.
I think I actually preferred Boom to Lost World, which isn't the common.
That is unusual, yeah.
There, I think people think quite highly of Lost World. I really didn't get into that one at all. I think I've managed to dodge some of the really bad ones. For example, I've never played Shadow the Hedgehog.
Be thankful.
You'll probably Lewis. You'll probably love it. So
I might do. I mean, if it's anything like the adventure games, I probably would, and it seems like it would be. But anyway, I never played 06 apart from a demo. So I guess that doesn't really count.
06 is it's fascinating to play in its badness and how it's I wouldn't call it the room of video games. No, I feel like Big Rigs is the on the PC is the room of video games.
Yes.
No,
even a demo I played, that was full of bugs, and it was a very small demo. Like I think within the first minute, I managed to fall through the floor of that demo.
Oh, wonderful!
Exactly. So that I think gave an accurate representation.
I'm surprised.
Tell me it, no. So I think Lost World's probably my least favorite Sonic game, and I think that's a fairly good one. So that's not very scathing opinions over here.
Did you play what's that Wii one? Sonic and the Black Knight.
Oh, now you're ringing my memory here. No, yeah. Well, I didn't play Black Knight, but I did play the game which came before it. Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Secret Rings, yes.
Yes, that was worst.
Okay, there we go.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. Especially when it demanded some sort of precision from you. The controls just wouldn't suit it at all. Like you would have to jump over something quickly and then dodge something, but it was just not responsive. Right. You could not rely on it to do so. So yeah, Sonic and the Secret Rings also has. I mean, Sonic's known for having fantastic music. We all know that, especially the modern games. And Lost Rings has a particular repetitive track. Someone singing about secret rings or whatever. And it would kick off. And I remember the tutorial, it would go back to a little menu each time, and it would be playing in between every single little bit. Beautifully done. So I nominate Secret Rings. I think that's going to do it for our super topic, though. So thank you again for Daniel. If you do want to chuck in your own super topics, again, they don't just need to be questions. They can just be general themes or topics you want us to dive into for a meaty discussion, please do. It also supports us on the show. Patreon.com/Nintendo Voice. And to wrap things up, as we do once an episode, we'll go around and we'll give out our contact details or anything else we want to mention. But before that, we have one or two final questions to give out.
Oh, I thought you forgot. No.
I haven't forgot. The fifth question for each of you. Harrison, number between 1 and 5. Let's make it
3.
Number 3. Okay. Which game featured the Cloud Flower power-up first? You got Super Mario Galaxy, Galaxy 2, 3D Land, or New Mario Bros. 2.
That would be Galaxy 2.
I believe you are correct, but let's get the official.
Judges?
Correct.
All right, good.
Judges confirmed. Okay, Colin.
God, don't give me a
This is the decider. Between 1 and 5, please.
2.
Number 2.
Is it Mario question?
No, we've done that one. That's right. Okay. I can do number 2 here. Okay. What is the heaviest Pokemon of the poison type? A. Garbodor. B. Scolipede. C. Venusaur. Or D. Swalot.
Can I have pictures, please?
Pictures?
No.
Does this look heavy, or does this one?
What's the heaviest Pokemon poison type? A. Garbodor. B. Scolipede. C. Venusaur. Or D. Swalot.
I'm going purely by the ones I know.
For all the chips.
Venusaur?
No, it was obviously B. Scolipede. So,
obviously, I don't know what the hell it is.
The winner of today's still yet unnamed feature goes to Harrison. So ultimately, 1 point to Harrison in the end, 0 points to Colin. These scores will run over the next time we do a gaming feature. Hopefully next week. It will be next week. I will have something prepared.
Look forward to our live stream of Nintendo Monopoly in the future.
Yes. And not quizzes next time. We'll have something different though, but more games to come. Let us know. I say the usual way. We've not given this out in a while. Either email hello@nintendovoice.com or reach us out on Twitter @NintendoVoice. Let us know what you think of this new gaming feature. And so, to end off the show, Harrison, how can the fine folks of the internet get hold of you?
You can find me anywhere on the internet. Well, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter to be exact.
Throughout the internet.
I'm everywhere. My footprint. No, you can find me on Twitter at @Milfeld, and you can also find me writing for PureNintendo.com. So writing reviews out there for lately, and we're about to put on another issue this coming up soon. So It's our Game of the Year feature.
Okay, and yourself, Colin?
Yeah, I'm just going to do Twitter, really. You can find me on Twitter @HighlyandBird. How you think it's spelled? Yeah, that's it.
Cool. And for myself, if you need to get hold of me, the name on Twitter at least is Leuvsion, Leuvsion. And I don't think I have anything personal to plug, but if you've not already, please check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Nintendo Voice. Please like and subscribe and all that lovely goodness. It does generally help. With that, though, thanks all for listening and for watching, and this has been Nintendo Voice.
Nintendo Monopoly, we're doing it.
Take care, everyone.
See ya.
No stopping now.